I want to talk. There's something that I want to talk about. Y'all see, as y'all can see, uh, the video title, take people take advantage of a kind person. And then you can see, as you can see, 50-50. The reason why I put that 50-50 in there is because I hear this all the time. And sometimes you can hear it in real life too. But I do hear it on social media a lot. Different ones, people talks about it, the people in the YouTube streets, because I live in the YouTube streets as well too. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the YouTube streets. I say, just because, whatever, because I'm always doing videos. I started out in 2013, but a woman take advantage of a kind person, because we know that a lot of, not just women, but it's me, not just men, it's women doing it. You see what I'm saying? It's not just men, it's women. It's women. It's like it's half and half is them, it's the women, and half is the men. I'm just saying it, trying to just establish a context. All right, now we know that we live in a society where women rapidly do this. Women rapidly do this. And this is a question that has come up even in the dating world, even in just trying to get to know people. Now we live in the modern day age where they, right off the rip, they talk about these things. They want a baller, trappers, scammers. I done actually literally heard women say that in the video. And when these guys approach them in their cars, and they have nice cars and have things like going for themselves, and they kind of like well off. I put it like that. And the women reject them at first. You see what I'm saying? When they be like, when they walk up and approach them, they reject them, because in their mind they don't know that they well off. They just see them on the sidewalk and just say, hey, they random, somebody walking up to me, and boom, I don't want to talk to these people because you just a random person off the street. And this is their mindset right now. Like back in the day when I was in my 20s and coming up and stuff, in my teens and 20s, if you found a good mate, you found one. It wasn't about, okay, um especially during the time of my mother's era, when she was, was in the coming up and doing, like when we was young. I think people was just coming out of that. But I think they say social media, actually, a lot of people allow social media is the media part, this new modern thing that we're dealing with, give them a disdain for the right thing. You see what I'm saying? Back then, like when my mom and when they was young and stuff, and before my mother was born, my grandpa and all of them, they were born, that people just didn't believe if they saw you had good potentials and stuff like that, even though you wasn't up there or whatever, and if they saw you was hard working, they actually loved that and fell in love with that. They didn't care what type of job you had. But now we living in a time and age, it's not old fashioned no more like it used to be. Because they'll tell you not. See, women, what they're doing, they're trying to finesse the whole situation. And that's what they do when they walk up to the guy. It's a sad thing. It's a sad mentality that then developed in the minds of our people to be like that. You know what I'm saying? I was actually trying to interact with a woman in her live, because she made some statements and said, if you're gonna take care of me, then whatever. Then if you ain't gonna take care of me, then don't pursue me and things of that nature. Um, I would say to that is, you have the woman. In my honest opinion, they have to be. You have to love them just as much as they love you. That's the way I see it. The way I look at it, if I'm let's say if I am dating a woman, that woman have to be into me just as much as I am into her. You see what I'm saying? And I'm bringing this up because I hear it all the time. I hear people making videos about it. So I say, you know what? This is an interesting topic to talk about. Why not talk about something like this? And going 50-50 and all that type of stuff. Most women that I have heard say that doing the gold digger videos and stuff like that, most of them done said no. If he ain't supporting me, or if he lose everything, take a turn in his life and he lose it all, I'm gonna leave it until he get his shit so and so stuff back together. And in my mind, I'm not the most educated person in the world. I'm not I don't consider myself to be an educated person at all. But when I heard that, I'm like, that is totally unjust. It's unjust. It's unfair to the to one party, while the other party feel like you're making me feel like, well, why am I supporting this person? And if I fall off at any point in time, if I fall off and lose everything, all even though I had all of that when you met me, and I had all my bread was up there, I was actually, my empire was up there. I wasn't what they call broke. I wasn't none of this stuff when I met you, and I was supporting that woman throughout the relationship or whatever. And she just said, "Well, I'm fixing to leave and go to the next guy or the next individual who can treat me or whatever, because he can't meet my habits of lifestyle now. So I'm fixing to leave him and go to the next person." I had to ask myself, by listening to all that, just coming to a conclusion, I wouldn't want a woman in my life like that. I wouldn't want that. It would be totally just disrespectful on so many levels to the man. You see what I'm saying? No, I wouldn't want. Now, it's not saying that negating. It's not negating that I want. Of course, it's a natural instinct for a man is to take care of a woman. That is a natural instinct to do that. You see what I'm saying? And it's just in us naturally. You know what I mean? Just like taking care, like your family members, like And I'm in that situation right now. You know what I'm saying? Like taking care. I can truly say, if I say that, would people be saying that I'm trying to say it for the? I don't want nobody to be saying that I'm doing, because I do understand you don't have to um prove, you don't have to showboat it and tailboat it of what you do. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? But I just basically just do certain things with context. So I'm trying to be careful how I word some of my words. Um, I think that's, in my honest opinion, that is a detrimental mentality for a woman, is to have that mindset. Okay, I don't believe in like, or whatever. She should be able to say that I believe in supporting my somebody who I'm gonna be married to for the rest of my life. They do this. I should stand up and support this person. I should do this here because that's genuine. That's showing that I appreciate them. You see what I'm saying? Just like if I was born and I came out my mother's stomach, I'm just making an example. If I was born and I came out of my mother's stomach, right? And she took a season in her life. Let's just say she took a season in her life and she fell off, and she somehow her health went down. She might have had a severe stroke or whatever, and this and that, and I've been living with her, and she's been supporting me throughout the whole. First of all, I came out of her stomach. I have a right, because that is my mother or my father, whatever. I have a right. It is my duty. It is one of the commandments of God, is to take care of the elderly. You see what I'm saying? That's not. It should be a natural. It shouldn't be no guessing and debating, putting them in a nursing home. It shouldn't be none of that. If the point I'm making is, if if they went through a season in their life, I would be wrong is to take and say, well, I got to go and find me somebody else. Is to blah, blah. That would be so lame, and that would be so low down, and that would be so dirty. I'm just making an example out of it. No, my duty is to stay there and put in the work and make sure that my mother was good. You see what I'm saying? That's the same way it is if a man is dating a woman and this man been supporting this woman. It's nothing wrong with the woman saying, "Hey, look, you supported me throughout this whole course of relationship, from the time we started dating, from the time I was a girlfriend to you, and from the time now you need me the most because I'm in my season to where I can't even physically do anything for myself, or I can't physically, I'm not physically where I was, and I can't give you and buy you all the expensive things that you want. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do until I get back up on my feet. Right now, I can't do what I used to do. Can you work with me until we get back to where we are? And the person says, no, I'm going on to the next person that can take care of me. If you ask me a question, that's not right. It's not nice to do a person like that. You see what I'm saying? Just think about it like this here. Let's use me as a perfect example of this here. If I was down or if I was in a ditch, I couldn't move, couldn't get up. Do you think I'm gonna want somebody to pass me up and not help me? Absolutely no. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna want them to pass me up. All right then. How do you think that person feel when they supported you their whole life and you turn around and take a turn and you take her out, but they've been there supporting you the whole time, whether it be your mother, whether it be your father, or whatever. If they've been there just grinding and holding you down, like, don't get me wrong, we all have moments in our life to where we have these things called um it's common to disagree with your family, right? It's common to have a disagreement with people. It's common to have a disagreement with your girlfriend. It's common to have a disagreement with your husband or your wife. That's common, right? Sometimes you have things take a turn. You may have a falling out, and you may go back and you may have a back and forth going. They telling you something, trying to get their point across. You telling them something, trying to get your point across. But the other party is over talking you. So therefore, it's like it's a round argument. You know what I mean, going back and forth, and it's not healthy, right? So the point of me bringing that up was this: if the same person that I was debating with or I disagreed with, if they got down or if they went through a season in their life, I'm not supposed to, from what I was taught through my elderly people growing up until now, in the morals that in the advice that my mother been giving me from birth. Then I used to go around a lot because I used to hang around a lot of older people. You know what I mean? I always, no matter how young I was, when I was 18, 19, 17, 18, I always hung around people that was way older than me. And I would go because I remember you looking at a man that didn't have a father in his life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning how to control my emotions. And because I've been raised in a community to where I believe it comes about. I always had this feminine energy. And when you have a lot of more feminine energy around you, it tends to make you grow into this aggressive mentality because women are the ones really that are very they say that they are more emotional creatures, and they tend to like or like wanting to argue and stuff like that, or they want to. I'm trying to find a way to say it, y'all. Come on, y'all, help me out now, please. Don't throw me under the bus. But um, when you don't, and it's not to put the sisters down. I'm not here to doing that. I'm not here to like shoot nobody down and all that kind of stuff and just attack you. No, I'm not doing that. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm contexting these words in the right context so that people can understand where I'm coming from. Um, when you don't have that person to influence you to do right, when you don't have that male influence in your life, it tends you're going to more than likely present a feminine energy. And I feel like I'm part I would say I'm guilty of that. You see what I'm saying? Um, I'm guilty of a lot of being emotional and getting real angry and telling people off and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Getting mad real easy when I should be know how to handle a conflict. You see what I'm saying? I'm learning at 50 years old how to. I'm still learning. When I was in my 40s, I was learning, and even right now as I speak, I'm 50 years old and I'm still learning. I'm just not learning. And I'm not ashamed. I used to be ashamed to admit it, but it's like I'm a grown man with a beard, a white beard, adult beard, a grown man's beard with a 12 or 13 or 18-year-old mentality. You're grown in body, but mentally, in mind, mentally, uh I have to admit maybe I was on a 14 or 15-year-old grade in 14 or 15-year-old mentally in the mind and climbing and learning the steps. It's like I'm learning the steps late. It's like you your wife fix your food and you have to eat a late dinner at 3 in the morning when you should have ate your dinner during the day around 12, maybe 1 or 2 in the evening. But you work so late, you have to come home at 3 in the morning, take a bath, eat, catch all up from what you didn't eat at 1 o'clock, quote unquote 1 o'clock during the day. So basically, that's me. I'm that type of person. Um, the Bible did tell us to humble ourselves, though. I know there's a scripture in Matthew's 18:1. He that humbles himself as a child, the same will be exalted, or something like that. How it go? I haven't read the script in a while, but y'all get the point. Uh, I have to admit that I'm kind of like my life is kind of like I grew up weird, different. Even when I was younger, I never could. It's like my life was just. I felt like my life was invisible. I think I tell the story all the time if I get around the right people. And I wasn't responding adult wise at first, but I'm learning now. Even though I'm in my late um era, I'm in the late era of time period, just learning when I should have learned this decades ago. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of these things has to do with a lot of time when you don't we all have these traits as so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American. We grow up with these traits in our community to where now that what does that you may say, what does that have to do with the video? Taking advantage of a kind person. See, you don't even learn balance. You go out there and soon as somebody take advantage of you, hear somebody taking advantage of somebody, immediately I want to go in and go off on them for being like that. You know what I mean? And which I do. I have that spirit in me, like, hey, like blank no. I'm not gonna even let you know what I'm saying. Just going in and speaking when maybe I'm speaking. You got somebody one elderly person told me like this. They said you got to know when to speak. You got to do it. There's a time they put it like this in like the scripture said in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. There's a time and a place and a season for everything, right? Yeah. So you got to they'll tell me like this in. You have to understand, you got to learn temperance. You got to know when to speak and when not to speak. I'm like, It took a while for it to soak in, but now I think about it now, and it really helped me out a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? But and I'm trying my best is to communicate this video without going too far off into stuff that does not has nothing to do with the topic necessarily or whatever, but I'm doing the best that I can. You know what I'm saying? Um, People say it ain't good to be to yourself all too much all the time. Maybe that might have a lot to do with it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I do know that my grandmother, I'm bringing her now, I'm bringing up in. My grandmother is a type, she's like a homebody person. She's like a home person. My mother, from what I see, is a homebody person. You see what I'm saying? My grandmother can go somewhere and she'll stay for a little while, but eventually she'll be ready to go home. I find that I believe that I'm like that to an extent too. I'm more like I I do like getting out. I do love exercise. I do love walking. And the only reason why I haven't been out walking, I'm not trying to get off the topic. Only reason why have not been walking now because I've been seriously home, been doing some serious stuff, been trying to make sure that my family's good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm just putting it in that phrase or whatever, because I don't want to like, yeah, y'all get the point. Um, or either I take and write it in the comment section down below what I wanted to say, and I did. I just didn't want to put it in the video or whatever. But if you want me to comment what I meant in the comment section, I'll do it. I'll comment that, and I'll put the personal comment in the personal what I was thinking. I'll write it in the comment section. So if you want me to write it in the comment section, feel free when you click on. If you get this far, it's 21 minutes or something to the video. Hold on. I might have to go in here and check on my mother and see if she's good because it sounds like she's not. Hold on, I can hear something. Hold on, I'll be back. Part 2. People that take advantage of a kind person, 50-50. Do you believe in a 50-50 relationship? I think the woman should support her husband throughout the whole course of relationship or whatever. Don't just leave him when he fall off. I think she should be kind enough to stay with him just like he stayed and helped her throughout the whole course being there. Part 2. I'll be back with another one.